Merry Christmas to all, and welcome to Kinks and Beats Daily. I am your host, Tony Fry. If you'd like to give me a Christmas gift, swing by iTunes today and leave a 5-star rating and a nice review. Actually, write out a review. It helps a lot. Because you listening to the podcast is great, but it doesn't help us climb the charts. It's all about reviews and subscriptions and ratings. So if you would be so kind to swing by Apple Podcast or iTunes today and do that so that we can have a number one music podcast in the United States by New Year's, that would be fantastic. Thank you. You can reach out to me, 925-494-1739. And we're still looking for calls about Waterloo Sunset because that is going to be our New Year's Day episode. But if you'd like to talk about any Beatles or Kinks songs for any reason, you love them, you hate them, you have a funny story or some kind of, personal connection to the song, go ahead and give me a call. I'd like to play those voicemails on the show. 925-494-1739. That's an American number. And you can email me, kinksandbeats@herohabit.com. Today, for Christmas, since it's Christmas Day, we're going to talk about a Beatles-related Christmas song that I actually like. Right? Yesterday we talked about a Kinks tune, one of my favorite Christmas tunes, one of my favorite Kinks tunes. Today we're talking about a fun little charming song by Ringo. And I encourage you, if you go to herohabit.com, under the podcast tab, you will find a link to Kinks and Beats. And there you will find our Spotify playlist. If you use Spotify, follow that playlist and you can listen to all the songs we're talking about on this podcast. And I add them on Monday morning. I add all the songs for the week so that you can kind of get it in your head and familiarize yourself with the song before I talk about it, before you listen to the podcast. I encourage you, because I'd wager most of you have not heard this song, to go listen to this one. It's fun. It's a Christmas song. And as much as I liked the Kinks song for its seriousness and it's actually having a message, I like this one for just being a dumb little Christmas song. First, what are we talking about? We're talking about I Want to Be Santa Claus from the album of the same name, released October 19th, 1999. It was produced by Mark Hudson. During this period of Ringo's career, a number of his albums were produced by Mark Hudson, including 1998's Vertical Man, which preceded this album and is, in my opinion, his best album since the early 70s. And this one's is very much in the same vein. It's very Beatlesy. It's a little bit overproduced, but in a way that works for a Christmas album. Right? You can get away with a lot of overproduction and a little bit, over-arranged songs on a Christmas album. And we can thank Phil Spector for that. Right? That wall of sound, because of his one Christmas album, that wall of sound has kind of become a synonymous sound with holiday albums. And so this one's no different. The song has some real catchy background vocals. It's a very simple melody that you can sing that's suitable for Ringo's voice. It's the subject matter. Basically, he wants to be Santa Claus all year round. He says, Santa Claus is someone who comes just once a year, but I could be there every day bringing Christmas cheer. It's a cute little sentiment. I want to be Santa Claus. I want to get all the toys. Just like Santa Claus, I'd give them away to all the girls and boys. Then, if I could be Santa Claus, coming through for everyone, and the gifts that I'd bring could make your heart sing, we'd have so much fun. This is not Winter Wonderland caliber lyrics. But it's fine. It's a fun little Christmas song. The album as a whole, I'm kind of mixed about. Some of the songs I really like. Some of the songs are just okay to me. It's split. It's about half. Actually, I think it's exactly half and half original songs and covers. And you do get to hear the only officially commercially released version of Christmas Time Is Here Again, which is credited to Lennon, McCartney, Harrison, and Starkey. Back in the 60s, the Beatles would do Christmas records for their fan club. And it was usually just, Christmas messages or kind of like a little skit. They were almost comedy albums. And but in 67, that one included this little jam, Christmas Time Is Here Again, which is almost a 12-bar blues. But like we've talked about in the past, the Beatles do not stick to 12-bar blues very easily. It's got a catchy little chorus. That is all it is. It's just a catchy little chorus. But had they actually sat down in the studio, maybe adjusted, maybe there's a line, been around since you know when or who knows when or something like that. Maybe that could have been tweaked a little bit. This could have been a fun little jam song. That probably would have been a hit, and you'd hear it on the radio forever. But they never did it. It was just relegated to the fan club Christmas album, which I guess is to their credit. It was meant to be a exclusive gift to them. But Ringo does his own take on it. It's got the Joe Perry from Aerosmith playing a guitar solo on it. It's a catchy little tune. But like I was saying, the album is split half and half, and there are some good tunes on it. I think I Want to Be Santa Claus is the strongest of the originals. But he's got like Winter Wonderland and Little Drummer Boy and Rudolph. I really like the version of Rudolph and Winter Wonderland that he does. Blue Christmas, White Christmas. It's a good Christmas album. It did not do well, though. And Ringo actually left this label after, I believe it was Mercury, but I could be wrong on that. He actually left the label after this album because they didn't promote it at all. And it got fairly decent reviews. And Christmas albums are not hard to sell, especially if you are, a big name like Ringo continues to be. But he left because of their lack of promotion. It got good reviews, didn't sell anything. This particular song, it's a little mid-tempo, almost like a two-step. There's a lot of random instruments flying in and out, playing, little line, almost like a Benefit for Mr. Kite kind of. It just flies in and plays a little line and then flies back out. To me, it sounds like a long-lost Harry Nilsson song. Like late 70s era Nilsson would have done a very similar arrangement to this song, or Van Dyke Parks. Those guys would have done very similar arrangements of this tune. And that's good because I like both those guys and I like this tune. So swing by the Spotify playlist and give it a follow and give this a listen, because today's Christmas if you're listening in real time, and you're out of time to listen to Christmas music. I'm shutting it down tomorrow. So that's it. No more Christmas until next Thanksgiving, which I'm fine with. All right. I don't even know what we're talking about tomorrow. So tomorrow's going to be a surprise for all of us. Just kidding. Tomorrow we're talking about Mr. Churchill Says. I'll just say it. These teasers are dumb. You can see the title when you open up the podcast. What am I teasing? Tomorrow we're going Mr. Churchill Says by the Kinks. And then an obscure Paul McCartney song after that. All right. Have a great holiday, guys. Don't forget to swing by iTunes and Apple Podcasts to leave a rating and review. Shoot me an email, kinksandbeats@herohabit.com. Give me a call, 925-494-1739, or follow me at Hero Habit on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Have a wonderful holiday. I will talk to you all tomorrow. This podcast is presented by the Hero Habit Podcast Network. Swing by HeroHabit.com today to comment on this episode and poke around our growing database of sports and pop culture news, reviews, and collectibles. HeroHabit.com. Collect your heroes.